Impeached by the county assembly, but later saved by the Senate. The senator salvaging Kirinyaga Governor Anne Waiguru's political career. Buoyed by a new lifeline, Waiguru is raising her stakes on the political arena. A steadfast supporter of the Building Bridges initiative, she says when the dust settles on the BBI and new structures and formations are unveiled, she will be making her next move on the political chessboard. Anne Waiguru and her husband, Kamotho Waiganjo, spoke candidly to our very own Sam Ogina.
For the safety and prudent expenditure of Kirinyaga County resources, Anne Mumbi must go.
We are looking at a very complex case of corruption, a complex case of misappropriation of public resources, a complex case of mismanagement of public resources.
A summation of the Kirinyaga Governor's year 2020.
Oh, it's been a tough year. Yeah. It's been a very tough year.
A year that has not only tested the resolve of Kenyans, but the world as a whole. But for the Kirinyaga governor, she was battling on two fronts. One to salvage her political career, threatened by her impeachment. And a fight she put on.
As I get the terms, I direct you to remove Honorable Munene.
The Kirinyaga County Assembly split right in the middle. Having lost round one of the fight, it appeared the Kirinyaga governor was poised for a win in round two of the bout. So much so that she could breathe easy at a game of solitaire.
I think it was obvious. You do your part. There was nothing for me to do at that time. You can imagine. I mean, I think it was at the time when that other lawyer was speaking. Surely you didn't expect me to just be sitting there. I mean, listening to all manner of accusations. Sometimes it's good to distract even your mind from hearing, you know, some of those things. And I had a good team put together by Kamotho, and it was great.
An assurance coming from a seasoned lawyer husband, Kamotho Waiganjo. For him, he was not only protecting his household, but her governorship.
No, it wasn't that it's a done deal.
No.
I think it's just that you also need to recognize, you know, where it is that you need to put energy. And, you know, a lot of those things that were being said can be also be annoying, because a lot of them is a lot of, you know, and I'm trying to look for a polite word. But you know, I mean, so sometimes you need to distract yourself with something. But also we had done a preparation. You know, we had discussed, we had talked about strategy, we had said about, you know, which areas we need to concentrate on to make the point we needed to make. So, you know, I mean, the good governor was entitled to relax. Yeah, so...
And that wasn't just it. I mean, there was also the political issues. I mean, you have to lobby, and you're not lobbying, they are sitting. You know, it will eventually get to the floor of the House despite the decisions that are being made there. So politically, your alliances, you do your work at very different levels. That's and then you learn, at this point, there's nothing for me to do. You know, right now, the only thing I can do is sit. You know, I've done my bit.
The two making a dynamic duo, tag team.
That is as it should be. Surely we both can't be stressed. You share.
It's the most frustrating thing in golf.
Waiguru taking cognizance that swings will be aimed at her direction, as that is the nature of the sport, that is politics. And as such, she has to perfect her own swing to hit further than the enemy, as she does at the golf course.
You can't say that people will stop. You learn to navigate. It's politics. It comes with the territory. So you don't get fuzzled and say, oh my God, can you imagine? Of course they will think, especially if someone thinks you're a threat, they will do something. And the bigger they feel threatened by you, the larger the effort that they will put to pull you down. So you take it in your stride. You take it in your stride.
I always tell my wife that you should be very worried the day nobody is bothered about challenging you. You know, that is when you should worry. Because if you're going anywhere in politics, people will try to pull you down. It's in the nature of politics. The minute you're irrelevant, you know, nobody will ever talk or try and fight with you. But of course, you also sometimes hope that there are limits. Whether it is the president, it's the honorable prime minister, it is honorable. Look at any politician of significance who's not had political reality. It's the nature of the job. Yeah. So,
in fact, the crisis is what lifts you up.
Yeah,
if you don't go through anything, you're not anywhere.
Sharpens the iron.
Yeah.
You're saying
purifies.
The Kirinyaga governor has had a checkered life in the public sector and a roller coaster political life. Waiguru has had an alliance with the country's number 2 and the opposition chief Raila Odinga in what was construed as upping her stakes in the battle for the running mate position.
I don't know who said this, that you have no business being in politics if you have no ambition.
Masinda Murulu used to tell people that.
Yeah. I'm laughing because he reminded me once. So you have no business being in politics if you have no ambition. And so you grow. You grow and then you know at what point you should exit. Yeah, it's not infinite. Yeah. It's not a decision of an individual. You don't decide which position you want. Yeah. You belong to a party. The party will have coalitions. Right now, after BBI, we are going to end up with a formation. Formations and alliances will form. And out of those formations, there will be parties, and parties will negotiate. And when they negotiate, they will put people on the table. You calculate that if you put this person, you will bring this number of people. If you put this person, they will bring this number of people. So there'll be a lot of negotiation. And then we'll see where the chips will fall.
The one-time technocrat turned politician, acing the political arena despite claiming in the past that she's not cut out for politics.
I think I keep asking myself, am I really cut out for politics? But even as I say that, I'm moving. I keep moving. And then I find myself somewhere and people are saying, hey, she has moved. But, maybe because I didn't come out as a politician. If I was a politician, I would have probably overcalculated.
Away from politics, Waiguru spends time on the golf course to suppress the pressure that comes with the cutthroat territory. Every day in the political arena is another day of chess to checkmate your opponent. At the golf course, unlike in politics, she has a head start over her male peers.
I love golf. This is where ladies tee off. That's where the men tee off. And we are going to the same place.
Really?
It's nice, isn't it?
No, I give my head start. It's not your head start.
Yes, we have a head start.
Why?
Because of gender. Yes. You see, when you think generally, men generally maybe built more muscle, you can hit further, etc. So they consider that. This is the things that we talk about even in BBI. You must be gender sensitive. So I love golf for that. I like it when people are missing shots from there and I'm starting from there. Equality to sasa, you being equal is not that sasa unapiga ngumi the same ngumi unapiga. Being equal is to recognize also my limitations so that I am brought equal.
And as such, gender and women empowerment remains Waiguru's pet project.
Even in golf, another lesson, unaona mwanaume anapigia kule nyuma, alafu tunapewa yards.
Hakuna gender equality. In affirmative. It's constitutional.
Tuko na affirmative. So I think that's a lesson. If people who develop sports like this understand that there's that need, I think also in society we shouldn't frown on affirmative action when it comes to gender until the day we say as a society we are equal, and we are so far from that. The fact that there are only 2 women governors out of 47 should tell you there's a problem. There are certain things you've seen us pushing for, especially for me on the gender front. We've pushed a lot on the issues that have to do with inclusion of gender, and considering that it's not always easy for women to get to the political front and therefore to be given that space. And I think we've done well. I think we've got everything we wanted.
And a family that plays together holds together. That is the mantra running through the Waiguru Waiganjo Union.
Sana, I think most of the times we play together. It's also a time to also, to just spend quality time. So it's exciting in that respect. But it's also an interesting game because it mixes rest and exercise, because as you walk, as you stroll, you're reflecting, but also you exercise when you decide, for example, to do a much faster game.
We find time. We find time for the family. Our family has breakfast every Saturday morning. The whole lot of us, and we're quite many.
And we have adult children and grandchildren and married couples, but we make it a point to meet every Saturday, and it's a lot of fun. It's also a time to just sometimes to be alone or be with your spouse without other people, and to go there in the forest, the talk. So it's also relaxing in that respect.
In a letter bonding.
Of course.
That
is part of the intent.
So politics is a very small component. It is not it's work, just like you're doing your work. You can't say I guess the only challenge when you say that is the issue of publicity.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you notice, there's very little that's known about us privately. The only thing you'll see is me with doctors in Kirinyaga, me with farmers, me with, and maybe on the impeachment you see the political. But our private life is very private.
And does politics. But being a politician is not who her total self. She's a lot more than politics. It's just one component of her life, an important one. So, and that's not to say that the political side is a bad one. But it says she's a much bigger, vast, personality. And so, it's been exciting, and it's been several years. It's an exciting journey. Like all marriages, by the way, there's nothing fundamentally unique. We face the same challenges that marriages face. We have the same joys that a good marriage has. Yeah.
Sam Ogina, Citizen TV, Nairobi.